exchange for using their talent at this party, which they were being paid for. The deal was that people would spend, I think it was $100 or more. They got open bar. They got the party with the knockouts. You know, there was meet and greets and all that fun stuff. And they were pretty much hitting this guy up on a weekly basis for about 5 weeks, trying to find out when they were getting their deposit, when they were sending the money over for the hotels. And the restaurant, the bar, never heard from Dickinson and never sent a deposit to them. So they gave him a deadline, and some of the excuses that he used that was told to me by the talent. One of them was his girl. First, it was his girlfriend. His girlfriend's breast implant exploded. Yeah. Then it was another excuse. It was his wife, not his girlfriend. His wife. So maybe he's got two. Who knows? His wife was sick and was in the hospital. He got into a car accident. There was just an excuse after excuse after excuse. I'll send it to you tomorrow morning. Morning would come. Afternoon would come up. They would message him again. He would have some other excuse why he couldn't pay that day. So they never received their deposit. So they gave him a deadline, which was a couple days before Wrestlecon. And they said, look, you have until 5 o'clock today or we're pulling the plug on this because the restaurant still has no confirmation that you're even doing this thing there. They have no money in their hand. You were supposed to send us a deposit and you were supposed to pay Kevin $500 for the hotel. So they said, you have until 5 o'clock. So what he did was he went on Eventbrite, canceled the event, didn't refund any of the money, took all the money, which was supposedly up to about $2,000 because people were messaging the knockouts telling them that they bought tickets. So he pocketed about $2,000 and then blocked all the TNA Impact knockouts and the restaurant's Twitter on his account and made his account private.
Huh.
And then posted on his Facebook page that he was threatened. But the threat was, you have until 5 o'clock or pulling the plug. That was the threat that he was reacting to. And
wow.
Then he trashed everybody on his Facebook page. I, of course, went to the Facebook page and I said what I had to say to him. And, of course, I got blocked. So, not over by any stretch.
Confirmation.
What happened?
We got confirmation to call.
Okay, so you're going to call?
Oh, you want to finish this or what?
Yeah, I'll finish this and then we'll give him a call. Okay,
all right.
So this is not over by any stretch of the imagination because, we've contacted the local authorities in Richmond, Virginia, where he's located. He was dumb enough to have his address on his business Facebook page. And we also, through another talent, got his home address because he lives with his mom. But he's got a wife and a girlfriend, but lives with his mom. But whatever the case may be. So this is not over. So the local authorities are going to be contacted and everything else. The knockouts are going to handle it. But he basically screwed, he screwed them out of about $2,000. He screwed me out of $500. He screwed the bar out of business. But I have to give props to the girls, and I have to give props to Shimmer Wrestling, because they took it upon themselves to say, you know what, despite this guy being a jackass and a thief, we're going to run this party anyway. So Shimmer advertised that the party will go on. Anybody who bought pre-sale tickets for this just had to bring their receipt with them, demand a refund on Eventbrite, bring their receipt with them. They got in for free. There was no open bar, though, but they still got in for free. And then I think everybody else, there was a $10 cover charge.
Well, okay. That's good.
So the party still went on. That was at the Swamp Bar.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to give kudos to the girls from, because they could have just said, you know what, screw it, and went out and got trashed or partied themselves. But they did what they had to do to make sure the fans were happy. It wasn't the fans' fault, but people need to smarten up now, because this is the same jackass, like I said, that's done 2 other screw-over jobs on people. And here he is on his social media page prancing around how he's at the bar with James Ellsworth for that party. He went to WrestleMania. He did all this stuff, meeting people. It's funny how he was able to show up for WrestleMania. He was able to show up for James Ellsworth's party, but he wasn't able to show up and pay the people he was supposed to pay for a party that he organized.
Yeah, right.
So this guy's an amazing piece of shit, and people need to smarten up, not do business with Black Cat Events. You can see them on Facebook and Twitter. They have a private account now, so you have to be approved to see their stuff. Do not do business with this jackass. Anybody you know who has done business with them, let them know what's going on. Okay, Rikishi's already been contacted to let him know this happened again. So hopefully he smartens up and stops doing business with this jackass. I think Brian Lawler is a lost cause because he's the only guy that does business with him is Dickinson. So I don't think he's going to walk away from him. Okay, but this was the same guy that a couple of weeks ago went on Facebook and said and set up a GoFundMe account for Brian Lawler. Okay, and this has nothing to do with Brian Lawler. Nothing bad. I had nothing bad to say about the guy. Okay, but he set up a GoFundMe account for Brian Lawler, claiming that Brian got hurt at home and the injury resulted in him needing surgery and he needed help paying for the surgery. And then, of course, fans rebutted that, and then the news finally came out a couple of weeks later, and he had to take down the GoFundMe account because it turns out that Brian got into a bar fight with another Impact wrestler and got his ass kicked. And that's why he needed surgery, because he busted his face.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
So it's funny how this guy was ready to take people's money, for a fake surgery and a fake injury that didn't happen, fake pretenses, which he was just going to pocket that money anyway, like he's been doing for the last couple of years. So people, smarten up. Stop giving business and money to this jackass Mike Dickinson of Black Cat Events. Support people who are honest. Okay, I'm not putting myself over, but support people who are honest. You know who they are because they're the ones that are there every time, the ones that the talent puts them over constantly on social media. Okay, the ones you don't hear negative shit about when it comes to doing bookings and doing signings. Okay, people can say what they want about me and what I say on the radio. Okay, but the main thing is things are said and done because of for ratings purposes. Okay, if I want a bullshit promoter because he's shady, by all means I'm going to do that because people are shady and I don't want people losing money, and it gives all the other promoters that are in the same business, gives us a bad name because people get screwed over by one and they think everybody's an asshole. So, okay, so yeah, let's make that phone call.
Just, again, remember, let's not bash the guy.
I'm not.
Again, he's my friend.
I got it.
So, I'm going to call him up now.
All right, go ahead. This is where I wish I had the Jeopardy music.
One eternity later.
All right. So we're waiting on Rob Hotchman of RGP Promotions. Dave Mooch has been gracious enough to reach out to him and get him on the air to talk about what's been bothering him and the issues he has with another promoter.
All right, Kev, you there?
I am here.
All right, Rob's on the phone too.
What's happening, guys?
All right, Rob is with us. Hold on one second, guys, because apparently I need to close my door because the dogs are freaking out.
Like the zoo over there.
Yeah, zoo. All right. So, all right, Rob, welcome to the show. Your first time here. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, so what the hell is, what's going on? I mean, I guess now we can mention the name, RDP, Richie DeGreg of RDP Promotion. What's going on between you and him now?
Your guess is as good as mine. I got a phone call. It started with an email.
Okay.
From some promoter I don't even know. And he said that the guys who ran Wrestlecon said that I was working with him and working with this promoter.
Okay.
And I didn't know who the guy was, so I obviously wasn't working with him. And he said, well, I guess, he asked me, he said, well, I guess you were banned from Wrestlecon. I said, yeah. I said, that was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I said, so I don't vend there. I don't do anything. And he said, well, supposedly someone gave the WrestleCon guys pictures of me and said, please just don't tell them it's me. Please just don't tell them it's me. And, you do a little more digging and you come to find out it's the lovely and talented Richie DeGreggio. So why my name keeps coming out of his mouth when I have nothing to do with this kid is beyond me. And he doesn't stop. So then Sims called me last night, told me, that Richie's still talking stuff. I mean, he just doesn't stop.
Okay, so who is the promoter that contacted you?
The guy that contacted me, he says he's from Steel Cage Signings.
Okay. Now,
I think his name is John. I want to say his name is John, but don't quote me on that.
Okay, so his name. All right. So,
I'd have to pull the thing up, so don't quote me on that.
All right. So this.
But I want to say it's Steel Cage Signings.
So this was the gentleman that brought in Rebel and James Ellsworth.
Correct.
Okay.
And I think he had Summer too.
Yeah,
I think he had Summer too.
Yeah, he did. That's right. So, I mean, obviously, I don't know the content of the email. So, I mean, were they screenshots that was sent to you that this, or is this guy you're just going by this guy John?
No, the guy. I asked the guy for the pictures. He says that the WrestleCon people wouldn't even give it to them because the promoter who took them said, not that it would be really bad if I found out that it was him. So they wouldn't send him anything. Therefore, I don't have anything.
And these were actually photos of you, or they were conversations?
That's what he says. The guy wound up sending me a picture of me with Trish and Lita,
right,
thanking the guys who brought in Trish and Lita, and said this is the only thing that the WrestleCon people were able to send me. And I was like, so I took a picture with Trish and Lita. Okay, that proves I was with you. I mean, I felt bad for the dude because I wasn't with him.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Rob, to be honest with you, the only reason why I texted you yesterday was because, like I said in the message, I'm friends with you. I'm friends with Richie. I'm tired of listening to both of you. No offense. Obviously fight.
Like I said, I never even had a problem with this kid. Never.
Yeah.
I equate him to being like Ed McMahon. If you guys ever watched the Tonight Show,
yeah, he
will sit and just laugh and just egg on whatever anybody else says. So Dave, if you say the sky is blue, he'll laugh. Yeah, it's blue. It's blue. Let me tell you how blue it is. Right. It doesn't matter. I took a shit. yeah, I took a big shit too. Yeah. He's like Beavis and fucking Butthead. And he's constantly the Butthead.
Well, yeah.
I mean, and look, truth be told, 3 or 4 weeks ago in New York,
yep,
when I told him, I said, why don't you say all the shit you were saying now, say it to my face, and he wouldn't get up out of the chair. Now, if he was truly telling the truth on every little piece of bullshit that came out of his mouth, why not stand up and say, yeah, you did this. Yeah, you did this. No, he sat there and said, I'm a little bitch. Literally. To the point where, Dave, you and I were laughing at breakfast the next morning.
Yeah.
So, he constantly has my name in his mouth. There's no reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to wind up getting himself hurt. Because now this other promoter is now looking for him.
Who? Oh, Steel Cage or whatever?
Yeah. Because I was like, look, dude, I'd help you in any way I can. I said I wasn't obviously with you. Not that the WrestleCon people care to talk to me or anything, but I'd be happy to talk to them. They don't want to talk, they're not going to give a shit whatever I say. But, I felt bad for the guy, and the guy's like, if someone, maybe he wasn't sure if they had him confused with somebody else or what. And he's like, I don't know you, and you obviously don't know me. And I said, you're right, I don't.
All right, let me.
So this guy got.
Well, wait. Let me ask this. Okay. Sorry, eating a polio string.